Namaste yogis, it's Anna here from Yin Yoga Collective. I'm going to run you through a really beautiful yin practice today, and we're actually focusing on the superficial front line and the superficial back line of tissue, also known as the kidney and urinary bladder meridians. And the reason I've chosen this pair of meridians is the acquired emotions are panic, terror, anxiety, and the prenatal virtues are self-confidence, clear perception, and wisdom. And I think that with all of the noise that goes on around us, these particular virtues are more than ever important. So if you've never done yin before, just quickly, the two most important points are we move into a pose without any kind of muscular engagement. We're wanting to hang or use healthy stress in the connective tissues without any tension from our muscles. And two, we stay as still as we can in the pose for 4 minutes is the longest hold today. And you try to come to a place of rest in the mind and rest in the body so that you can create a permanent and lasting space, both in the meridians and in the tissues, and become more spacious in your life. So you don't need a mat today, you just need somewhere comfortable. If you have a pillow or something, I have a bolster at home. If you have a pillow to support you here, you don't actually need to use any equipment. You can improvise at home, and you've probably got a multitude of really lovely cushions you can use. Otherwise, set yourself up in a really nice, cozy spot where you're comfortable. Put on a really beautiful, soothing playlist, and let's practice this beautiful yin sequence together. Apologies for the background noise. So, to start with, just find a comfortable seated position. Allow the eyes to gently close down. Find length through every single vertebrae, starting from the bottom and working your way mindfully, vertebrae by vertebrae, up to the top. Find length in the back of the neck, a weightlessness in the head, and a calm breath. We're going to take Samavriti, or even breath. You can take a ratio of 3, 4, or 5 for your inhale, a slight pause at the top, and then the same ratio as you exhale, and a pause at the bottom. Let's begin. With every inhalation, inhale wisdom, clear perception, love. With every exhale, releasing fear, anxiety, chaos. As you inhale, feel up into the belly. Let it be soft and distended. And let your exhale be completely effortless as you allow the navel to draw back in towards the spine, slightly lifting the pelvic floor. Release the pelvic floor to inhale. Exhaling effortlessly. Now see if you can add an extra count to both the inhale and the exhale. Always remembering that any breath work should never cause you distress. It should always be calm and easeful. Now, if you feel comfortable, add another count to both the inhale and the exhale. On your next exhale breath, allow your breathing to return to its natural, beautiful rhythm. And invite your hands together at heart center in prayer. And I'd invite you to join me in setting an intention of peace. Sending peace, healing and calm out into the world. Take one chant of on to open. If you're chanting, take a full inhale. Exhale complete. Inhale for Om. When you're ready, you can gently release the palms, blink open the eyes, and we'll move into our first yin pose. We're coming into what's called butterfly. You're making roughly a diamond shape. The feet can be touching or not. And from here, you're simply going to allow yourself to fold forward. Now, if you find that quite difficult, you can move up against a wall or your bed. If you have a nice rigid pillow of some sort, you can use it to support the forehead. The target area here is the inner and outer upper legs, the low back, and a beautiful gentle compression in the stomach. I'll be using my timer, and just to be aware that I prefer not to talk too much when I'm teaching a yin class, because I feel that I want to let you drop into the pose. So I'm still with you. This first pose we're holding for 3 minutes. So prepare yourself now. Try to make yourself as comfortably uncomfortable as you can be. About 70% sensation without any kind of engagement muscularly. And we'll begin. No tension in the neck, the jaw, the face, the eyebrows. Allow gravity to just melt you into whatever surface you're working on. just under a minute left in the hold. If you feel you have a little more space that's opened up to move into, or simply stay in the stillness that you've cultivated. Take a full inhale into chest and lungs. And as you exhale, slowly release from your pose, and we'll come into a rebound now. I would recommend laying flat on the back, taking a Savasana-like position, letting yourself take up space and then sink down into the surface you're practicing on. Slowly make your way back to a seated position to prepare for our next pose. We're coming into Dragonfly, which is a wide V sit. Now, if you have very tight hamstrings, you might want to move against a wall and just sit in as much comfortable discomfort as you can, focusing on really the inner thighs and the lower groin, lower stomach in this pose. If you have a pillow or something that you can rest on and you're able to maybe support your head with your hands, you can also do that. If you've got quite a bit more space, you could maybe soften down towards whatever surface you're working on. You can use your hands as fists to support you. So it's not a practice in suffering, it's a practice in release. So come into 60 to 70%. We're here for 5 minutes, targeting your inner groin, and just think, I release that which does not serve me. So make yourself comfortably uncomfortable and enter the pose.
Trying to release any areas of tension in your body with softness. A full ability to surrender into whatever sensation you're experiencing with grace and calmness. I release that which does not serve me. Just move past the halfway point. If you have a second physical edge you could move into or would like to adjust at all, come into your next depth and then resolve to stay as still as you can for the rest of the hold. Take a full inhale into chest and lungs. And as you exhale, slowly start to escape from your pose. Take all the time you need to reintroducing your legs to each other and then making your way into whatever rebound you choose. I always like to come into Savasana because for me it really does represent complete effortless surrender. Slowly make your way to a seated position to prepare for the next pose. We're coming into Sphinx. When I come into Sphinx, I like to use a little bit of support. So if you have a pillow or something, you can use it. If you're very open in the back line of your body, like you back bend quite easily, you might not need to use this. The target area is the whole front line now. Kidney meridian. So we're here for 4 minutes. You can have your elbows on top of your bolster and support your chin. If you're a little bit tight in the lower back, sometimes it's nice to just snuggle back on your bolster or your pillow and support your chin with your hands. Alternatively, if you're very, very open, Holly, if you're practicing, this one's for you. Peel your stomach back away from your bolster after you've put some of the weight of your body on it, and then maybe extend your arms forward and really try to keep your arms straight so that You're supporting yourself structurally with the bones rather than muscularly with tension. So find your position, entering into the pose. The head can bow forward or it can rest back. Gently close down the eyes. And think about softening and opening the heart into all of the infinite possibilities that are available to us at any given time. And having the wisdom to know that everything is impermanent. These cycles of our life, nothing stays the same. We've just moved past the halfway mark in the hold. If you need to adjust it all to maintain the stillness, you can. If you feel like you've come to a second physical edge opportunity, you could maybe lengthen the arms and come into a seal. If you make an adjustment, resolve to come back into as much stillness as is possible. Final minute of the hold. Just a word on compression you may be experiencing in the lower vertebrae. Any kind of dull, stuck sensation that can be uncomfortable but isn't sharp or painful is actually quite healthy. So if you're experiencing that now in your lower back, I am, just sit with it. If it ever becomes sharp or painful, then you calmly exit the pose. Hello, Casper. take a full inhale into chest and lungs. And as you exhale, start to slowly escape from your pose. And the rebound I like to take after a Sphinx is to just shuffle my pillow or my bolster back underneath my pubic bone. Excuse me, mister. And then allow myself just to sink down. And it's a really nice decompression in the lower back. Slowly start to exit from your rebound to prepare for the next pose. Coming into a reclined twist. Excuse me, mister. So with this one, if you don't have any props, totally doesn't matter. You can maybe cross the right leg over the top of the left or leave it stacked. You can even draw the right knee up a bit tighter towards the chest and then just let the leg soften to the side body. I would encourage you to keep a neutral face up towards the ceiling. And if you have some support, maybe of a bolster or a heavy pillow, sometimes it's nice to bring a little bit of weight to the leg. Remembering it's always a safe movement towards finding openness. Reduce them in. Sink and soften. 3 minutes on this side in your reclined twist. Targeting here the outer hip and the spine, and really notice if you are holding on to tension in your outer hip, the top hip. Try to soften.
Take a full inhale into chest and lungs. And as you exhale slowly, mindfully escape from the pose, and we're going to move directly to the other side. However, if you feel that you need a little pause in between, you're most welcome to take that. Soften into the hips, soften into the spine. There shouldn't be any point where you feel like you have to hold with your muscles to keep you in the pose. Take a full inhale into chest and lungs. And as you exhale, slowly escape your pose. Come into a rebound of your choice. Whatever resting position is beckoning you right now. Slowly make your way into a seated position to prepare for the next pose. You're gonna have to move, Caspi. Can I put that there? Look out, you're gonna get squished by the bolster. Good boy. So we're coming into a saddle now. If you have any kind of knee issues, Ryan, if you're doing this video, I'm talking to you. You can take dragon. So dragon pose is like a low lunge where you can support yourself with anything around you. Otherwise, you are going to come into like a hero's pose or virasana. And with the pillow or the bolster behind you, you can support yourself and lay back. Now if your knees are giving you any feedback, another nice variation is to do half saddle. So you let one leg out. And the foot of the bent knee can be turned out to the side if you're really tight on the top of your feet. So Simon, that one's for you. Otherwise, finding your pose, we're here for 4 minutes. Don't chew your feet. Don't do that. And slowly surrender to the pose, targeting the full front line of the body here. Particularly the psoas, the muscle of the soul. Notice if you're holding on to tension in your body, and explore softening those tissues. The yin tissues of the body are all of the tissues that are heavy, don't receive a lot of hydration, are dark, dull, and a little mysterious. So think fascia, connective tissues like ligaments, our framework, our bones, all of the rigid, heavy, structural part of our body. Think about sending space and light and love into those areas. If you're feeling any feedback in your knees that is even a dull pain or sharp, I would advise exiting this pose and taking a variation. Never ever want to put your knees under any kind of stress or distress in a yin practice. If you've taken a half variation of this pose, you'll exit the one side that you're in and then move to the other side. If you need to take a slight pause in between, you're most welcome to. If you're in the full variation and you'd like to try taking the arms overhead, that's a nice additive that will give you more sensation along the side body and up through the lung, the stomach and the heart meridians. If it becomes too much or starts to cause you distress, bring the arms back alongside the body. Take a full inhale into chest and lungs. And as you exhale, slowly start to escape from your pose. You could lay flat on the back. You could lay on the stomach. We'll take a little bit longer resting pose here, as that was the longest hold we've taken in the practice. Slowly make your way into a seated position to prepare for our final pose. One of my all-time favorite yin poses. We're coming into caterpillar. It is simply a forward fold. There's a few ways you can take it to support yourself. You can be up against a wall
If you have your pillow or your bolster and it's rigid enough, you can use it as a kickstand to support your forehead. You can use it to lay on top of, or you can simply move it to the side and come into the pose without the aid of props. We're here for 4 minutes. Really allow yourself to turn inward. This beautiful pose that is targeting the whole back line of the body. The feet can fall out. There's no alignment in yin. You're just moving into sensation. So as long as you feel it along the back line of your body, you're doing it correctly. Take a full inhale into chest and lungs. And as you exhale, slowly escape from the pose, making your way into your final Savasana. I'd recommend staying in your Savasana for
at least 6 to 10 minutes and really letting yourself completely surrender in the fullest way you can. I will put the sequence in the description, and am wishing you love, peace, wisdom, and health at this time. Namaste, beautiful yogis.